Hello, everyone. This is the story of a man named Abraham and his beloved son, Isaac. Abraham loved God with all his heart. Many years earlier, God made Abraham a promise. He told him that he would become the father of many nations, with children and grandchildren more than the stars in the sky. For a long time, Abraham and his wife Sarah had no children. They grew old, and it seemed impossible. Yet God kept his promise. When Abraham was 100 years old, Isaac was born. Isaac was the joy of their lives. Abraham treasured his son. Every time he looked at Isaac, he remembered God's goodness. Isaac represented the future God promised. Abraham trusted God, and God loved Abraham deeply. One day, God gave Abraham a very difficult command. It was a test unlike any other. God said, "Abraham, take your son Isaac, your only son whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a sacrifice to me." Imagine how Abraham must have felt. His heart must have hurt. This was his only son, the promised son. Still, Abraham chose obedience. He believed God had a plan, even if he could not understand it. Early the next morning, Abraham packed the supplies: wood for a sacrifice, a knife, and fire. He called Isaac, and they began their journey. 2 servants came along to help them travel. They walked for 3 long days. Abraham prayed, trusted, and kept going. When they reached a mountain God showed Abraham, he told the servants to stay behind. Abraham and Isaac would go alone to worship God. Isaac carried the wood on his back, while Abraham held the fire and the knife. Isaac looked around and noticed something was missing. He asked, "Father, we have the wood and the fire, but where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" Abraham answered, "God will provide, my son." They continued walking. When they reached the top of the mountain, they built an altar out of stones. Abraham arranged the wood carefully. Then came the moment Abraham feared. He gently tied Isaac, his son, and laid him on the wood. Even though he was scared, Abraham trusted God more than anything else. Abraham raised his hand to obey God's command. Just then, a voice called from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham!" Abraham stopped and said, "Here I am." The voice said, "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God because you have not held back your only son from me." Abraham's heart filled with relief and joy. God had never planned for Isaac to die. It was a test to show Abraham's deep faith. Then Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught by its horns in a nearby bush. God had provided a sacrifice, just as Abraham believed. Abraham and Isaac offered the ram to God and worshipped him on the mountain. God spoke again, reaffirming his promise. Because Abraham had trusted and obeyed, God promised to bless him greatly. His family would grow into a mighty nation, and one day the whole world would be blessed through them. Abraham and Isaac returned home together, thankful that God had provided. This story reminds us to trust God, even when life feels unclear. Abraham chose faith over fear, and God provided. Thanks for watching.